Monsoon has left devastating impacts on several Indian states, particularly Kerala, where more than 300 have been killed. The army and local administration are working overtime to rescue as many people as possible in Kerala's worst affected district of Wayanad. Continuous rainfall is disrupting rescue efforts. Our correspondent Siddharth MP has been covering the tragic disaster. Here is a ground report.
We often hear of the phrase trail of destruction, but have we seen something like that? There's nothing worse than what's happened here at Mundakai, the worst hit place in Wayanad in the landslides. There were homes here, there were shops, there were villages. And this entire trail of destruction is what wrought the kind of horror in Kerala like never before. The worst ever disaster that Kerala has seen. The worst landslide perhaps in southern India. Rescue operations are still underway here. In fact, not a great deal of rescue is possible here because only people on foot are able to come. No machinery, no large equipment, no ambulances, nothing is able to reach this place. Anywhere you look, it's just shocking trail of destruction that you can see here. About 3-4 days ago, this was a road where people were walking casually. There were vehicles plying through like it was any other day. Remains of their loved ones. Some of them have to go to a morgue, to a mortuary in a hospital, and then look at the mortal remains of hundreds of people, hundreds of their fellow people of Wayanad, and then see if their loved ones are among those unfortunate people who lost their lives and are lying lifeless and motionless over there. In this entire town, there's nobody to tell a story of what happened. Usually there are witnesses, but here it's too hard to find any, unfortunately. And this place is left like a ghost town. You just hear the chirping of birds. You occasionally see some dogs running around, probably looking at the forever changed landscape. It's a sort of eerie disquiet that we see over here. There's barely any words to describe what is unfolded in this situation and in this particular place. And it's hard to imagine what would have happened at that night